All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking an incredibly dense 70-word creative brief that engineers a completely high-octane, perfectly crafted visual experience. It's honestly fascinating how just a few carefully chosen words from our source material can dictate an entire cinematic universe. We're looking at a blueprint designed to create a FIFA World Cup 2026 match preview between Argentina and Algeria, and literally every single word in this brief serves a very specific, calculated purpose.
But you know what the most astonishing part of this whole blueprint is? This entire cinematic universe must be packed into exactly 10 seconds. I mean, think about that for a second. 10 seconds is, what, shorter than a yawn? Yet in the world of modern media, it's an absolute eternity. It is that exact microscopic window you have to stop a user from swiping past and losing them forever.
So the challenge is crystal clear. Constructing a massive World Cup match prediction reel in this tiny, fast-paced window. We're basically looking at the foundational architecture for digital adrenaline. The source text isn't just asking for some simple clip, it's demanding a highly specific, engineered piece of media that's designed to grab your attention and just never let go.
So how do we start? Well, it begins with crafting premium sports aesthetics. And what's really fascinating here is the demand for ultra-realistic, premium television documentary quality, but merged directly with high-energy viral formatting. Normally, you get one or the other, right? You either get a slow, beautifully shot, sweeping documentary, or you get a gritty, chaotic, fast-paced phone video. But this brief forces those two opposite ends of the spectrum to collide, creating this hybrid that is both visually stunning and addictively fast.
To actually pull off that premium look, the prompt specifically calls for intense, glowing details. We're talking high dynamic range, or HDR lighting, and bright stadium floodlights to really illuminate the packed stadium. HDR lighting essentially mimics how the human eye processes contrast, which makes the bright spots incredibly dazzling and the shadows remarkably rich. This isn't just lighting instruction, guys. It's a psychological cue telling the viewer, hey, you are watching a massive, globally important event.
Next up is directing the action and atmosphere. Just notice the sheer visual density requested here. We've got sparks, flares, powerful shots, and roaring crowds, all packed into mere moments. It's not just players on a pitch, it's the crowd reacting in the background, massive flags waving, and literally flying sparks with cinematic lens flares. It's sensory overload by design, engineered specifically to trigger a deep emotional response before your rational brain can even fully process what it's seeing.
Now, to actually manage that sensory overload, the brief maps out this calculated chaos into a really logical timeline. It perfectly guides the viewer's eye. It starts with a dramatic setup of players emerging for the first 2 seconds. Then, bam, 4 seconds of pure, unfiltered action to hook you. Following that, text drops in to ground the viewer. And finally, an explosive climax. It is your traditional 3-act narrative structure, just ruthlessly compressed into a fraction of a minute.
But of course, we also have to consider the viral technical specifications.
9:16. This exact aspect ratio dictates a strict vertical framing rule for the entire production. Forget those widescreen cinematic vistas that you'd see in a movie theater. The 9:16 ratio is absolutely the undisputed king of the modern digital landscape. It matches exactly how we hold our devices, and it dictates how we consume the vast majority of our daily information.
And this portrait-oriented format ensures those flying sparks and fast-paced action completely monopolize a viewer's phone screen, engineering maximum visual engagement. By taking over the screen vertically, the creator eliminates all other distractions. You aren't seeing the comments section right away, you're not checking the time or your battery life. Instead, you're entirely immersively plunged into this Argentina versus Algeria showdown. It's just a brilliant, captive audience mechanism. Now, to seamlessly fit that massive timeline into our tiny 10-second window, the pacing is artificially controlled using speed ramp transitions and premium sports graphics. Speed ramping, which is where the action slows down for, say, a dramatic crunching tackle and then instantly speeds up to the next powerful shot, allows the creator to literally bend time. Honestly, it's the only way you can fit 30 seconds worth of narrative action into a strict 10 seconds of runtime without making it feel like a chaotic, unwatchable blur.
And finally, we reach the ultimate engagement hook.
To really build the stakes, giant animated text reading Argentina versus Algeria is slammed onto the screen right before the stadium atmosphere intensifies with exploding fireworks overhead. It anchors those chaotic, fast-paced visuals with hard, unmissable text. It reminds the viewer exactly what the stakes are, right?
Like, these aren't just random teams running around. This is a global heavyweight clash, and the giant text ensures there's zero ambiguity about who is actually on the pitch.
Then, the final shot of the facing flags directly sets up the ultimate cliffhanger. It taps into tribalism at its absolute finest. By putting the Argentine and Algerian flags head-to-head on a massive glowing scoreboard, the creator is tapping directly into the competitive spirit of the audience. I mean, you really cannot look at two flags facing off without instinctively, subconsciously picking a side.
And that leads right into the final provocative text on the scoreboard: who will win? This ends the reel by leaving the audience desperate to engage, comment, and debate the outcome. The brief deliberately doesn't give you the answer. It explicitly asks you for the answer. That unanswered question is the engine of all engagement. It prompts shares, heated debates, and a flood of comments from fans. And to think, all of this massive psychological and visual engineering stems from just 70 carefully selected words. It really makes you wonder. The next time you find yourself instantly captivated by a fleeting 10-second clip on your daily feed, what invisible brief is manipulating your attention right at that exact moment?